Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, and you guys already know when I am in this setup, it is because we are doing none other than a tea video. So this will be the first Love is Blind Season 8 tea video. Now, while this tea does not seem to contain any necessarily immediate spoilers, of course, if you do not want to be spoiled on episodes maybe 1 through 6, and if you're just not really wanting to know anything about outside opinions of things we've seen, then I might not recommend to watch this. But as I said, it does not contain any direct spoilers for anything past episode 6. So watch at your own discretion, but that's your warning now. And of course, if you want to support me, if you want to support the channel, hopefully you'll consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. So let's jump right into this. The first allegations, and these are allegations. I am not saying anything is definite. I'm not saying that I know anything for sure. But the first allegations are about none other than Alex. And these ones really hurt because I have been bigging up this guy in my videos, but there have been a couple of women who have came out and talked about Alex. So let's jump in. Alrighty. So these were commented somewhere on TikTok, and they read as follows. Will not be making a video, but Alex used to throw parties in his 20s and would invite only high schoolers. Was 16, 17, underage drinking while he was banging my friend. The creator says, can you message me? And someone else comments, can verify this story. He was best friends with my best friend for a decade, and he prefers his girlfriends to dress and act young. Oof. Okay. Let's go to the next one. So this is also about Alex. Allegedly. This guy was ripped to shreds on local dating Facebook groups in Minnesota because he would sell alcohol to minors and then ask them for sexual pleasures from them. Apparently, he has dated many and was a narcissist as well. The sweet personality was always his first step. The posts occurred even before he was announced to be on the show. All posts were taken down because he started to get a lot of heat once he was announced at the reunion. So someone commented, whoever does the background checks, Chelsea does the background checks for these shows or for these people. So, yup, I'm in one of the groups and have seen the posts. Whoa, I did not expect this. So as you can imagine, those are some pretty major allegations against this guy. It seems to be multiple people coming out and multiple people coming forward. And of course, people have said they have evidence. You know, sometimes people will tend to present evidence to certain creators. Now, I will say no evidence has been brought forward as far as I can see. So again, that's why I am saying this is all alleged, but obviously these are some very serious allegations to be making. And if it is serious and Love is Blind and Chelsea and co who do the casting were aware of this, because apparently this all came out before the season, he should have been removed. That's one thing I definitely notice about this show is that they don't remove people when the allegations come out. They instead try to scrub and hide everything, which is very, very ethically wrong. But anyway, allegations, we shall see. The next story we have. A lot of y'all have been saying we have 11 episodes in the pods. So one of the creators of Love is Blind did come out to talk about why there are so many episodes in the pods. So let's go ahead and read through it. Let me get the screen up for you. So, Love is Blind. Whoa. Okay. I don't know why I got so many. Oh, okay. So, Love is Blind creator explains why there are so many episodes in the pods this season. No, it's not just you. There are a lot more episodes in the pods during season 8 of Love is Blind, and we finally know why. During previous seasons, we usually spent around 4 episodes in the pods with the cast of Love is Blind. However, during season 8, there were 6 episodes of pod action. This has caused a lot of backlash as some viewers feel as though all the drama is outside the pods and now we'll have less time for it all. I forgot who I was watching, but somebody gave a pretty good speculation that maybe it's because they actually have copyrighted music now. They had Billie Eilish songs, they had Marry Me. So someone said maybe they need to put more episodes this season to pay for that music. And you know what? I'm with that. I'm with that theory. However, the creator of Love is Blind has revealed exactly why they chose to spend more time in the pods this year compared to others. In an interview with Variety, they revealed it's always how the edit works out. We film everything and then we go back and look at how we got there. We put the pieces together. As always, we're trying to pick the stories that resonate and that we feel are worthy of telling because they lean into authenticity. When we first started making the show, the pods were a couple of episodes. People love the pods. Who are these people? I keep seeing people say that people wanted more pod episodes, but I'm just wondering who these people are. It's crazy to think back about season 1. Lauren and Cameron were doing the reveal at the end of episode 1. Looking back, that's so fast. But there are real intense, incredible love stories that unfold in really fascinating ways in the pods. There are unbelievable love triangles. When we first started making the show, we thought we didn't have enough time to tell stories of love triangles, but now we embrace the fact that it's incredibly emotional, dramatic, messy, and aspirational. They continue. When you look at the story of Madison, Alex, Meg, and Mason in the pods, we've never told a story that didn't make it out of the pods before. And I think it's really exciting to do that because people will always ask, what else happened? Who else did they date? We can never make a show to show everything, but showing some of the other stuff that happens in the pods is incredibly entertaining. I could probably make 30 episodes of pods and it would be fascinating. Season 8 host Vanessa Lachey also weighed on more episodes featuring the pods, explaining it's because a lot went down in them. They spent a lot of time airing the pods in this season because a lot of stuff went down in the pods. Everyone was very much wanting to learn about the other people and wanting to learn about themselves. They aren't taking it lighthearted. So I will say with this season, I feel like the love triangle has been very interesting. Yes, I think the editing is terrible. I don't know if they hired new editors, but as I said, I feel like we are getting very little of the Black couples and we are getting, yes, mainly Alex, Madison, Mason, Meg, and I'm going to put Dave on that list as well. We are getting those 5 at such heavy levels. And I feel like there are other people on this show. Why are we barely seeing Daniel either? So I don't know. I don't think the problem per se, at least for me, is that it's longer in the pods. I think the problem for me is that we are not getting equal editing. And we're also seeing like half of stories. Like we'll see like half of a story and then we'll move on to something else and never see it again. So for me personally, that's at least my biggest problem with it. I understand people think there's 11 episodes. I do think the love triangle is pretty interesting. And as I said, I think there's a lot going on and a lot to talk about. But I will be honest, having 50% of the season in the pods is probably not it. Most times, I would say we should go back to, if they absolutely want to extend it, 4 episodes max. 4 max. And then we get to the rest. Because at the end of the day, the meat and potatoes of this show is the relationships, not the pods. So anyway, let's keep going. Last story that we have for today's roundup, Brittany, I don't know. She decided that she was going to give a little bit of her opinion on Devin's reaction to her sexuality in episode 4. So let's get into it. She has spoken out a little bit about it all. Love is Blind contestant Brittany blasts reaction to sexuality. Move this real quick so we can read it. And this is Entertainment Weekly. So, Love is Blind's Brittany blasts Devin. I could also sense, reading between the lines, that he was a little mama's boy, Brittany Dodson says. And this might contain a spoiler if you haven't seen episode 5. They talk about something that happens in episode 5. I haven't seen it, but I figured this was going to happen anyway, so I just went ahead and well, you know. So Love is Blind season 8 cast member Brittany Dodson has no regrets over ending things with her pod boyfriend Devin Buckley after his immature reaction to her sexuality. While the two Minnesotan singles hit it off right away in the pods, Brittany's vulnerable confession about how she's had relationships with women in the past sent Devin spiraling. Yes, it sure did. Although Brittany explained that she always saw herself marrying a man and has always been monogamous, Devin struggled to understand and told her he needed time to think about it. Brittany tells EW that Devin's response made her realize that he wasn't the person she wanted to marry, so she ended things on their next date. I've had an ex that told me later on, or I've had an ex that told me later on, even though I broke up with him, that was a big thing that was in the back of his mind and it was just immature, she tells EW. It's not like every woman that's walking past me I'm looking at, or guy for that matter. And I said that in my recap video. I don't know. I think a lot of people have this very internalized viewpoint of people who are bisexual or who like multiple genders. And I just think it is absolutely insane because at the end of the day, just like you, just like me, it's not as if they don't have specific things that they are attracted to. That's a part of life, exploring your sexuality, exploring who you are. And I just felt like it was a very closed minded view. Wow, Brittany, you and I said the same stuff, girl. It wasn't just about her own sexuality. Brittany worried how Devin would feel about her friends and family who are also LGBTQIA plus. For him to not be open about it, she says, if we have children, all of these things were running through my mind. Like, how could you not accept our child if our child came to you and said this? Agreed. She laughs before adding, I'm not telling you I want to go date women while we're getting married. Devin's very narrow-minded view was the deal breaker for Brittany. I could read between the lines for him not to even say anything. I just need to think about it. And even when I came back, there was no words that he could really say. In that moment, you had the opportunity to be more supportive and comforting, and silence really does speak volumes sometimes. Brittany was also disappointed how he handled an extremely vulnerable and sensitive moment for her. That's not necessarily easy for me to say. Everybody doesn't know about my sexuality, and it may not be for everybody to know. I ain't gonna hold you, girl. That was crazy work admitting that on TV. I mean, admit what you want to admit, but I feel like her friends and family, when they see that, they're gonna be like, girl, we need to talk. But I felt like it was a moment, if we are going to take the next step in our relationship, it was something I wanted to share with him. I really wish that he could have been a little more supportive in that. I kind of picked up that he wasn't going to be that. So I was like, all right, yeah, let's exit stage left. She laughs at how Devin immediately agreed with her about how they're not each other's person. But if she hadn't broken up with him, I don't necessarily know if he would have ended things, she said. I think the male ego is something that's a whole nother story. 35-year-old partnership executive admits she's a little nervous to have such a personal piece of her identity air in an episode of Love is Blind. It's something I don't necessarily blurt out loud, she says. Everybody doesn't say, I'm straight, I'm gay, I'm bisexual, I'm anything else. So I've never felt the need to overshare with anybody. I wanted to share in that moment with him, and we just so happened to be on TV. So now everybody will know. I just have to take it in stride. And those that don't want to support me, that's their business. They don't have to be in my life. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. My husband's in the background. She adds that this is new territory for her family, but she also doesn't regret talking about her sexuality during their pod date. I have never thought of it as this huge thing because it's always been a part of me. She says, my thoughts, my feelings, everybody wants to put it in a category, and I have it in the past. I don't really care. At this point, it is what it is. Brittany doesn't feel strongly about needing to label sexuality, but says that it's something she's thought about since filming the show, especially in regards to, can I see myself marrying a woman? She says, I kind of love being in this feminine energy, but I also love all sexes. I love everyone. That's a hard question to answer, really. I guess I'm still a work in progress, to say the least. That's a long article. Let's pause for 1 second. So basically, Brittany is saying that Devin's reaction was not it. And she knew she was going to come in and leave him, but He claimed that he knew they were not each other's person, but she feels like maybe he wasn't going to break up with her if she didn't say anything. Now, with Devin, I don't know. I always got the vibe that the two of them had a friend vibe. And as I said, I don't know that I think that Devin is inherently anything, but I definitely do feel like a lot of people have internalized feelings on these type of things that they need to grapple with. And I think Brittany brings up a good point that even if, let's say, he can get past it or something with her, what if their kid is queer? What if someone, other people in her life might be queer? It's the same questions that Sarah had for Ben. You're so staunchly against these things. Would you be cool with the fact that I have people in my life who are in that way? So I definitely think that these are real things to think about. And I'm so glad that Brittany wasn't so desperate, especially for this man that's like 7 years younger than you, girl. I am so glad that she was not so desperate that she kept fighting and fighting and fighting for this man to like her. So, as for her relationship with 29-year-old youth director and coach Devin, Brittany reveals that it wasn't just his reaction to her sexuality that had her questioning whether she wanted to marry him. Oh, more spoiler. Okay, I haven't seen episode 5, but that's okay. I kind of figured. I could feel that I could feel that I was almost being a little over supportive of him in everything he had going on in his life, even for things that I thought were very minute, like the ibuprofen. That is not minute. That man described a full-blown addiction to painkillers, so that is not minute. She says, referring to Devin's admission that he abused the pain relief medicine after a basketball injury. Obviously, I wanted to be considerate, but in my mind, I'm like, I've never heard of that. But maybe I could just be ignorant to the fact that this is a real addiction. But when I got out, I'm like, that is not. Yo, can I read? Okay. Realizing that she was bending over backwards to support him only for him to fail to do the same thing was a major red flag. Yes, absolutely. The fact that she really did not judge him at all, that she was very emotional with him and was willing to meet him where he was at, and he could not extend the same respect, that should absolutely let you know that he is not the one for you. So again, I am glad to see that Brittany knows her self-worth, loves herself, and could realize that he is not the one. When I shared really personal things about myself, he very much so made it about him, saying, I need to take my time to figure it out, Brittany says. This egocentric attitude, I could sense a little immaturity there. And I could also sense, kind of reading between the lines, that he was a little mama's boy. Oh, not a mama's boy now. I don't want this. I don't want to carry a relationship. Leaving Love is Blind single was the real win for Brittany. I learned a ton about myself, she says, just about the repetitive things that I have done and seen in men and just continue to do, and really honing in on what I want for myself, which is not Devin. I do wonder what it was that gave the vibes he was a mama's boy, because at least on the show, I feel like he didn't really talk about his mom like that. But you know what? Good for you, Brittany. Like I said, sis, he was definitely going to always have that in the back of his head. As I even said in my recaps, it was never going to work with the two of them. So I'm very glad that Brittany decided to love herself. So, anyways, that is our little roundup for today. What do you think about these stories? What do you think about these people? Stay tuned. The episode 5 recap should be out sometime later today. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.